Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. This is D from Project Airwaves coming at you again with another session. In today's shit show, sorry, hang on, let me back up. In today's particular session, I got some stuff on my mind about this whole CV-19 shenanigans, and I need to let off. So not sorry. I'm gonna let off on you, and you just let me know what you think, how you feel, as if we don't already know. So let's just jump into it. Nope, that's Philly D's line. Let's just set it the fuck off. Everybody knows about COVID. If you don't know about COVID, you must literally live under a rock. There's been a lot of talk about numbers going back on the rise with the holidays and everything. Then there's the vaccinations coming out. There's a presidential election holding up potential stimulus check, which really is kind of disguised as a bribe to make you get the vaccine. Nothing's been said officially per se, but that's kind of what's going on in the wind. So there's just a lot of shit going on that we really don't have control over. We've never really had control over a lot of stuff, but right now more than ever, we just seem to have less and less control over not only our current situation, but our environment around us, and we're losing control by the day. And so I just want to okay, all right, let me I need to get this off my chest, because I'm one of these people where I'm not a conspiracy theorist, not necessarily a truther. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fearmonger or throw out baseless statements with no facts or anything to back them up. I'm just giving you my opinion, letting you know how I feel. I'm gonna do my best not to offend anybody. I don't make any promises. I'm a fucking human being, and sometimes what I say may offend you. This is life. But I appreciate you listening nonetheless. So let's set off this firecracker. So one of the biggest things I wanted to discuss was germs and infections and viruses and the stuff you can't see that's going on all in your body and moving all in your system and causing you to get in some cases pneumonia, the flu, common cold, COVID, whatever. There's a lot of shit going on in your body at any given time. And so when Corona first hit, it was, oh shit, stay clean, wash your hands, don't touch your face, they at one point it felt like they were just saying don't touch yourself, don't touch anything, and just hope to God you don't get it. And that was a terrible mindset, but everybody went along with it. They're like, okay, wash your hands. It was like Filbert from Rocko's Modern Life. He's like, you turn the page and you wash your hands, and you turn the page and you wash your hands. If you haven't seen Rocko's Modern Life, if you were born between like the 80s and 90s and you never saw Rocko's Modern Life, you have every right to go ahead and leave this particular session. All right, you're gone. Okay, for the rest of us who caught that reference, moving forward, so it became a huge thing to be clean, but it fell on us, the average working day-to-day person. And I mean, don't get it twisted, obviously we're all over the place. We go home, we go to work, we go to a grocery store, some of us go to church, some of us go hiking, some of us go swimming, diving, whatever. People as human beings, as a species, we go all over the fucking place and we touch everything. Okay, so I get that. Cool, you want me to wash my hands and blah. All right. So then as it started progressing, it became almost like OCD type situation, almost like, what are they called? A germaphobe or a hypochondriac. I might be using the wrong words there, but it almost became like people were programmed to be just off-put or set off by the slightest little thing, as far as like dirt and contracting the virus, spreading the virus, cleanliness upon oneself, other people being clean, and this and that. And I have a little issue with that, because initially, most people, at least from my life experience, I can only speak from my own personal experience, but it felt like most people really weren't as concerned as they were when COVID hit. We were at this kind of lull where it was just like, oh, well, nothing's happening, so I guess I'll just go on about my business. And, obviously we do the day-to-day routine. You touch something nasty, you shake somebody's hand you're not comfortable with, or, whatever, you go wash your hands. And then it turned into this fucking thing where everybody just developed this OCD. Everybody just became clean freaks, and that was cool. But my statement when all of that started was, well, what the fuck were you doing before? You know what I mean? Because like I've said in previous episodes, we treat COVID like the common cold. Don't be around other people. wear a mask, distance yourself from others. Even if you think you're over it, take some extra time to yourself and just make sure you're over it. Maybe give yourself a few couple of days, even after you feel like you're back up to snuff, give yourself a few more days, give other people the chance to not be around you. And then it felt like COVID, it was like we had never gotten sick before. Like people just didn't know how to deal with themselves. And it's like, yeah, I get it. The virus, it's killed an ungodly amount. I think we're in the hundreds of thousands at this point. It's killed a lot of people. But at the same time, we all know the common cold kills people. Any virus out there hitting somebody that is elderly or immune compromised, which I just assume is either elderly, some type of genetic, deformity, or if you're a child and your immune system hasn't developed, those are the most likeliest groups to get hit. I had an ex-girlfriend who, if you've seen the movie Bubble Boy, she should have been Bubble Girl. She just had stacks of paperwork as far as like her medical history, and doctors they still can't figure out what's wrong with her. Diabetes was like one of the things in her laundry list of issues, and just keeping that under control was like a 24-hour job for her, because she had all of her other medications and she had to eat this before she took that, but she had to take this, and then 2 hours later she had to take that. So she was constantly trying to balance out her weight and her diet and this and that on top of her diabetes and other medical issues. So she, for all intents and purposes, is immune compromised. So I'm sure when COVID hit, her heart just probably dropped. But even with her back in the day when we were dating, it wasn't too big of a deal. It was okay, if you're sick, obviously don't go around her, don't touch anything, don't do this, blah blah blah. But if you were cool shortly thereafter, okay, we could hang out again, we could talk, we could whatever. Now it feels like we're treating this like it's more than what it is. And when I say more than what it is, I mean that we were created to adapt, to evolve, and to change to match our environment. That's why you see people with different skin tones, hair colors, eye colors. Some people are more prone to this, type of infection than that infection. Some people or ethnicity or, particular groups have a better tolerance to this than that, depending on where you come from, depending on what you know. So then it boils down to, okay, cool. So we're kind of all on the same page. We can kind of all handle this, kind of handle that. So where we went wrong, I think a long time ago, was with the pharmaceutical industry. Pharmaceuticals, it feels like, is wearing down our natural immune system. And going back to my ex-girlfriend, I say that because she was on 12 pills, might be more now. I haven't talked to her in a while, but when we were dating, she was on 10 to 12 pills daily. Like, I'm sure a lot of you out there who are on medication know exactly what I'm talking about. It was just pill after pill after pill. She had tiny pills and big pills. And it was just like, okay, because I forget the terminology, but her immune system was pretty much attacking her body. So, I guess you could say it was in overdrive all the time. So it came to a point where she relied on these relies on these pharmaceuticals so much to get her through the day, to help her with pain, her depression, insomnia, night terrors, just the whole gambit of shit. Seeing her, you're like, okay, I could see why she takes a bunch of pills and why she has all of these kind of hoops she has to jump through just to make it through the day. And I feel for her. At the same time, with the rest of us, with you and me, the 90% of us who have a proper functioning immune system, as normal as the word normal, I don't really like using that word, but it's close to a normal day-to-day routine as everybody else, where we just do what we do, and if you get sick, you're cool. You might take a few things, you might not, whatever, but it's not going to kill you. So with her, obviously, yes, from modern science and everything, I could see why she's on a bunch of medication. She's got a lot of shit going on and they don't know what's wrong with her. Then you have people like me. I am the exact opposite of my ex-girlfriend. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I take no medicine. I mean, none. Unless I am vomiting up blood or something. I don't know, that's a little extreme, but unless it's absolutely dire where I think I'm about to go to the hospital. By the way, I've never been to the hospital before. Thank you, God. I don't take anything. I want my body to have a chance to fix itself and to grow, evolve, and change to match your environment. And so for me, I wanted to make sure that my body could fight like the common cold. I didn't want to run to my medicine cabinet and chug down a bottle of Robitussin just because, I had a sore throat or a cough. I didn't want to start, sucking on bags of lozenges because, I had a cough or a sore throat. I'm not in the bathroom chugging down Pepto-Bismol because my stomach's upset. Like, I don't like Advil. I don't like aspirin. I don't like any of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these medications do not serve their purpose, that they are not necessary. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just simply stating, for me, I choose to take no medication, no pharmaceuticals. I'm trying to be as natural as far as that goes. My body and my immune system and the upkeep, I'm trying to keep that as natural as possible. Now, if you want to talk about my diet, we're on a whole different fucking subject. I'm fat. But when it just comes to me taking care of me and letting my immune system do what it does, I try not to put things in its way. You know what I mean? Yes, when I get sick maybe once, maybe twice a year. It's usually around flu season or the winter time. And it'll be for about a week or two because I haven't been sick all year. So it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks. And it's going to linger maybe a wee bit longer, maybe a wee bit less than the average cold. But I'm going to get over it. And I'm going to be okay. I've noticed that we have been programmed, or at least trained, to almost panic whenever we get sick. And this is prior to COVID. I'm talking about pre-COVID. When people would get sick, they freak out. They go straight to the hospital, straight to the doctor. I need to see somebody. I need you to prescribe me something. Give me something. I need something to take this pain away. I got a migraine. I got a headache. This hurts. That hurts. I need the pain to go away. Yada, 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 yada. But you really don't. It's in the long run, it's fucking off your pain tolerance and your immune system, because as most people know, caffeine, for example, when you drink so much caffeine repeatedly, day after day after day after day, coffee, soda, juice, whatever, any type of high caffeinated drink, that gives you that puts an artificial element into your body, which is there to replicate another natural forming chemical from your brain. Okay, so now that you have artificially replaced this chemical, I can't say what it is, and I'm so sorry, but I just got off work and my brain's a little so I'll catch up. But when you've replaced this natural chemical with this now artificial chemical, your body stops producing the chemical naturally, because now it has found a new source of the chemical and it's even more potent, so it stops producing the chemical. Same thing with smoking cigarettes. We do that for that hit. I used to smoke cigarettes. I am currently a vapor. I stopped smoking about 5 years ago, and I've been vaping ever since. And it really does help. It really changed my life. But smoking cigarettes is the same thing. You get addicted to the nicotine because the nicotine makes you feel good. The nicotine feels like you got the hit of endorphins. It could calm your nerves. That is because your body is no longer producing the natural chemical to calm you down, because you have introduced an artificial source for this chemical to be introduced into your system, so your body stops producing it. And that's how I see our immune systems. We are so hooked on these day-to-day man-made pharmaceuticals, synthetic drugs, that it's hindering our immune system from developing, from adapting, from advancing to the next stage. Because for a lot of these illnesses that are out there, most of us our immune system can handle it. Chicken pox when you were a kid, that used to kill people. But now 9 times out of 10, you just sit it out. You're going to be a little itchy. Life's going to suck for a week or two or whatever. You may need some, whatever that ointment is so that you don't scratch yourself, but you'll be okay. When you get a fever, people used to die from that. Now our immune system has developed, and yes, that's not because of modern day science. That's because the human body has advanced and evolved to adapt to its surroundings. So now you can sit out a fever. You catch a cold, you can sit it out. As long as you take care of yourself, drink a lot of fluids, eat the proper foods, give yourself some rest, boom, it'll come and go just as quickly, and it'll be like it was never there. As a matter of fact, you might even feel better once you're over it, because now your body is like, able to do anything on its own. It feels like, anyway, from my perspective, that we have developed a dependency, like an opioid dependency, because we have an opioid epidemic, and that's mostly from the pharmaceutical industry introducing a lot of these opioids into our day-to-day medicine. So now people are being given all types of doses of all types of shit, and you're hooked, and then they treat you like a crackhead. It's kind of interesting how that whole system works. Big corporation, big pharma introduces this quote-unquote potential cure-all, or what looks to be a cure-all, but it has some addictive side effects. It has some negative side effects. If you do research, you will find that most, if not all, pharmaceuticals have a side effect of depression, suicidal tendencies, or thoughts. Now, why would that be if this is supposed to help you? Why would they not work harder to screen out that particular problem? And that's because when you're healthy, the pharmaceutical industry and the hospitals don't make money. So I'm sorry to say, they don't want you to be healthy every single day. They don't want you to get sick once or twice a year. They want you to be sick all the time. They want you to develop some type of illness so that you'll have to pay into the system. And now they're constantly getting an inflow of your money because you can't sleep. So you're trying to get this pill so you don't have insomnia. So you blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. If it's threatening your life, if it's absolutely causing you physical, mental, and emotional, distress, and you could potentially lead to death. Hey, I get that. Take a little melatonin, get something prescribed to you just a little bit. I get it. But when it comes to, I just coughed, I just sneezed, my nose is running, there's a tickle in the back of my throat, my stomach hurts, I have a little bit of a headache, my this is throbbing, my that is sore. The first thing people will do is run to take something. I need this for inflammation. I need this for muscle soreness. I need this for stiffness. I need this for that. I need this for that. And it's so convenient how the pharmaceutical industry has a pill or a bottle of liquefied something that you can ingest to alleviate these pains and aches and ailments. However, that usually tends to come with a dependency tag attached to it, or I should say a dependency string attached to it, because as people, we tend to get addicted to things that are easy. We tend to unfortunately be a little more lazy than act. I mean, I don't even need to give you a statistic. Look around. Most of America is now obese and overweight. That's because we like to be lazy. You know why we like to be lazy? Because we're tired from the 9-to-5 day-to-day hustle and bustle. We're mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. By the time we get off work, most of us can't do shit other than eat, take a shower, go to sleep, get ready for the next day. You don't really have a lot of time to take care of yourself. So when you get to that point, now it becomes okay, you have to take this pharmaceutical. You just developed type 2 diabetes. Oh shit. Now you're got to be on insulin. You don't know what other side effects may come with having diabetes. Some people lose, body parts, their feet, they lose their sight. You might lose a finger, especially if you don't work on your diet and your overall health. You have things like that to now you have to take this pharmaceutical. You have to take this artificial drug. But at the same time, how were we surviving prior to modern day medicine? You know what I mean? That's why I always like to ask people. When people, like, especially my mom, when I get sick, mom's like, oh baby, you should take this, you should take that. What is it, like Theraflu, Mucinex, Tylenol PM, or whatever that stuff is. My mom is a pharmacy in and of itself. Not in a bad way, but if I ever needed anything, I could run to my mom. And it's just crazy because it's just like we have so many artificial replacements for the one thing. Well, I won't say the one thing. One of many things our body was naturally built to deal with. It's just people are lazy and they don't have pain tolerance and they don't have willpower to just sit it out and let it do its thing, run its course, as the scientists would say, and then you get over it. Like that's what's mind blowing to me, that we just kind of fell into this pattern of I need something to fix this instead of just letting your body fix it. So now we're here, we're at COVID and everybody's freaking out and they're like, we need a vaccine, we need this, we need that, or else we're gonna die. Sorry to say, but it's called natural selection. This is how the world works. The world itself, planet Earth, is naturally built to regulate itself. So yes, I won't say if there's too many people, but as the world turns, the world has to control its own population. So yes, it will find a way to cull populations that are too dense. It's just so that, it makes sure that one species isn't dominating the entire planet and killing off everything, which, humans are kind of doing. It also makes sure everybody can live in harmony. There's a harmonic flow to the world. world, if you paid attention to the Discovery Channel or in history class when you're in high school or whatever, the world has a natural harmonic flow. Most, if not all, animals are on some type of migration pattern. They have specific areas they know to go. There's these invisible boundaries carved in the earth where they know they just shouldn't tread over, or if they absolutely need to maybe expand their domain or go into new territory, there's a unfamiliarity to their surroundings. And animals, for the most part, even though, you know, they're carnivorous or herbivorous, you know, there's always this natural balance. It's almost like Star Wars, you know, you have the light and the dark. They'll always balance each other if one gets too far out of whack. And so the planet Earth does the same thing. Humans came from the Earth. We were born from Mother Earth. That's why for those of us who were born pre-2000, that's why you have a lot of like home remedies, and your grandma, your great-grandma, your great-grandfather, they know all these little home remedies to kind of help make you feel better when you were going through stuff, because it was natural. It came from the Earth. The Earth is built to heal us and to help us. That's, you know, I'm definitely backing all the, you know, save the planet people, you know, less pollution is better, you know, get rid of all the trash, stop using unnecessary amounts of resources. I'm behind all of that because it seems like we are terraforming the planet for another species. Like, I don't get it. The Earth literally takes care of itself and all of its inhabitants, and yet we feel the need to go beyond that, to play God and to assume a role, a position of authority, like we created the planet, like it owes us something for being here, and it really doesn't. And we see the ramifications of that logic, that mindset. Yes, at one point we were in a pursuit of growth, technological growth, you know, existential growth, you know, that whole what's the meaning of life and all that bullshit floating out there. But for some reason we're moving away from trying to coexist with the planet, and we're fighting the planet and trying to make it our bitch. And we're seeing the ramifications of those actions. I say that because the planet Earth has to change. It is not built to stay the same. The world rotates at a certain degrees, at a certain rate of speed, but no matter what, the tectonic plates are shifting, the waters are moving, the ice is either melting or growing, it's either cold over here, hot over there, or vice versa. Everything is built to change. That's a part of the regulatory system of the planet. It has to change. Things have to evolve. And if nothing changes, if there's no possibility of danger or death or anything like that, the human body, the animals and species on this planet will not develop and get better or adapt to their environments. So unfortunately, yes, while I hate the fact that people have and are still dying from COVID, at the same time, this is survival of the fittest. And unless your DNA can handle the fact that there is this foreign entity in your body, and your body produced the natural antibodies and or, you know, whatever you want to call them, to fight off this virus, then it's possible you won't make it. That's how it's always been. No matter where you look, it's always been that way. Something will happen to a particular group or community of people, and so many will die off and so many will live. But you can always guarantee 9 times out of 10 more will live than die, because that's how it works. The human body, when it sees death, our minds do something to help us avoid death. I call it my black spidey senses. You know, when I see something that could potentially kill me, I start looking of any way to get away from it. My body just goes into like autopilot. I think our minds do that internally as well. When you see, oh shit, there's a virus out there, there's this out there killing people, your mind goes into this almost primal like state where it's like, okay, how the fuck are we going to survive this? What do I need to do to beat this? So what the doctors and scientists have been saying is, because some people have lingering side effects of COVID, so people that have had it and recovered, they have ongoing ailments even though they no longer have the virus, and they're saying, oh, it's like their body is in overdrive, their immune system is still working to fight the virus even though it's not there, so now it's actually harming the body instead of helping the body. So it's crazy, because in my mind, you know, and obviously I'm no fucking scientist, but in my mind I'm just like, okay, that's natural. Like, your body is supposed to fight off the virus. There may be lingering effects. effects, there may be side effects, there may be ramifications, but for the most part, you're still alive. You're still going to get to live. You're still going to get to procreate and spread on this survival to the next generation of the species. So to me, yes, while it sucks, at the same time, you did not die. And so that's why I want people to try and step back and take a look at, like, look, it hurts, it's unpleasant, it's uncomfortable, and yes, at times it's scary as fuck because you don't know if you got it or not. You don't know if the person you're standing next to got it or not, your loved one, family members, what have you. But at the end of the day, I promise you, more people will live through COVID than won't, because that's just how it's meant to be. This is nature. This is the next step in our evolution to force us to adapt to the ever-changing planet that we live on. The earth will never stay the same. Where you live today will not be there 50 to 100 years from now. Where the streets we're driving on today will not exist 50 to 100 years from now. But humans will. We will find a way, because that's what we do. We adapt and we evolve. The problem is a lot of these powerful people, powerful industries and corporations and stuff are kind of fucking up the funk. You know what I mean? I made up a saying that I tell people, you can't fix nature once you broke it. Once you break something that's naturally built, once you fuck up that cycle, now you have to continue to artificially tend to that lack, to that vacuum, that empty space. Because now, perfect example, the power plant, the nuclear power plant that had a meltdown in, what was it, Japan? Off the coast somewhere in Japan. It was built right next to the water. Stupidest fucking idea I've ever heard of. Built right off the coast, had a meltdown. Where did all of the fucking hazardous material and fucking radioactive waste, where did it all go? Into the fucking water. It went to the ocean, okay? What was it Exxon Mobil Valdez, or whatever it's called, the big old fucking oil tanker that way back in the 90s fucking sank or broke open and put tons of gasoline into our oceans, okay? In case you don't understand how geography works, all of the waters on this planet, whether they be salt water, fresh water, a lake, a river, whatever, they all flow into each other to some extent. Unless you live by an isolated lake like Michigan or somewhere like that, all of the lakes and rivers flow into each other from the ocean. The earth has a natural filtration system, and it filters these waters, and then it makes them clean for us, and then shit flows out. Sometimes we have to filter it. That's life. However, everything is connected. Everything flows. That's, like I said, the planet has a way of regulating itself. So we're fucking up the ocean. Let's just stick with the ocean. I'm not going to touch the ozone layer. I'm not going to talk about what was it, oil drilling, you know, and I forget the terminology, but it's like where they drill the earth and they like suck out all the natural resources, and the area around it just goes to shit. I'm not even going to touch about any of that. I'm strictly going to talk about the shit we're dumping into our oceans. You eat what comes from the ocean, okay? You, not you specifically, but we as human beings play in the ocean. We have things that live in the ocean. We've only discovered or explored maybe 10% of the world's oceans, okay? That leaves 90+% of unexplored territory that we know nothing about, and yet we are dumping hazardous material. We are dumping garbage. We are dumping man-made artificial constructs into the ocean, damaging everything that's down there. So now what's happening? We're seeing mass die-offs of damn near all species of aquatic marine life. We're seeing, what's it called? Red tide all over the fucking place. People can't drink water because it's poisoned. People can't live near the coast because there's so much death and so many carcasses of dead fish that not only does it smell, but it's fucking up the food supply, because we have scavenger animals that scavenge on dead carcasses, so that goes into the food chain. Unfortunately, that's how it works. It's just mind-blowing how people don't see we are fucking up the planet. And so now that we're being hit with something potentially natural or not natural, we can't fix it. We don't know what to do. Well, that's because we were naturally built to deal with this, but we can't now, because we've been artificially shoving things into the planet, artificially shoving things into our body, generation after generation. Take pharmaceuticals, take these opioids, take this, take that, take this, get addicted to that, use this to fix that. So now our body can't fix shit. We don't know how to live off the land. We can't hardly eat anything that's roaming around outside, because I don't know about you, I live in Las Vegas. I ain't eating shit. Especially if it's a bird. God only knows what the fuck that nasty little motherfucker's been eating. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. I can't find a natural source of water anywhere near me, okay? Lake Mead is not a natural source of water. That is an artificially built lake, okay? There is nowhere I can go where I can just go hunting. I need a license for that. There's nowhere I can go where I can just, be to myself. Maybe I just want to live off the grid for a minute. Well, you have to buy this land. You have to go to this area. So that means you're not going to have certain amenities, which we've become comfortable with. But hey, I'm just an electricity type guy myself. City boy, sorry. But there's certain things we just can't do or don't know how to do anymore because we've lost that natural instinct because it's been replaced by something artificial. So now everything we normally would have done for ourselves, which would have built up our bodies and boosted our immune systems, such as workout, exercise, have good relationships with people, because yes, that does not only boost your mood, being happy, laughing, your brain releasing endorphins, because you're just having a good time, that actually, extends your life and makes you a better person. All of these, things that we just don't do anymore, it's affected us. It's made us weak. The average male has, I think it's lost almost 30% of muscle mass in the 2000s as compared to the males in the 50s and 60s. Men and women, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, we're getting weaker. Our bodies are weaker. Our minds are weaker. People are killing themselves because they are depressed due to the isolation of the COVID lockdown. People can't handle it. They don't know what to do. Not saying this has never happened before, but at the same time, we don't know how to handle it because we're waiting for somebody to give us a handout. We're waiting for somebody to give us something artificial to fix it, such as this vaccination that just poofed out of thin air, okay? The human body was made to deal with it. I'm sorry people had to die, but that's how life works. The food chain, survival of the fittest, the natural flow of things. No one is built to live forever, and you do not know the day or hour of your passing. When your time comes, it's just here. But what I'm trying to touch on is, I guess I'm getting irritated with the fact that everyone's like, oh, we got to go back to normal. I want to go back to normal. Things will never be the same. This is the new normal. Normal wasn't a thing. Normal was never a thing. We were all walking around with blinders for the longest time, and even when you weren't walking around with the blinders, there wasn't really much you could do about it, unfortunately. But when I hear the word normal, when I hear going back to, I think of the Harvey Weinsteins and the Epsteins and the celebrities and the child molestation and the trafficking rings and the murders and gang violence, domestic abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, racism, religious attacks. We've been hearing a lot about, especially over in China and Japan, where they're attacking people for worshiping God. We've seen it here in the States. The people are defacing churches, are destroying churches, stealing things from churches because of the God we choose to believe in. It's mind-blowing. We have secrets that we'll never know about until 10, 15, 20 years down the road, especially from the government, where we have to get things, disclosed to us, and we have to put in a query and this and that. And if we're lucky, they'll release the information, but there'll be so much redaction on it. It just looks like a black blob. We have famine, we have hunger, we still have homeless people living on the fucking street. As a matter of fact, we have millions of Americans that are about to be homeless because because of all of this fucking shenanigans with COVID. So instead of the government putting everybody's bills to zero, you still have to pay rent. You still have to pay your car note. You still have to pay your cell phone bill. Well, how am I supposed to do that if my company went out of business? How am I supposed to do that if my city is shut down? How am I supposed to do that if I have COVID myself and I can't get to work? You're fucked. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing to me, but we won't put everything at zero. We'll give you a stimulus check. What? Excuse me? Does that make sense to anybody? I'm sorry. No, keep your fucking money. I'd rather just be able to wake up tomorrow and know I still have somewhere to live. No, I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back. You want to throw me some groceries? I will gladly take some groceries. But if you're just throwing me money to quote unquote stimulate the economy, which means to just find a way to give you the money back, you're screwed. You know what I mean? We still have child abandonment. We still have child abortions. We still have everybody going into debt. If you're going to school to try and get a better education, to have a better life, you are going to be in debt. Thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars just so you can make a life for you and your family. This shit's crazy. We have people working 5 days a week. We still work 5 days a week, 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes more. Why? Why are we still in that same stupid fucking vicious cycle? Why are these companies not doing anything for their employees when they run into hardships in their life, when they go through stuff? You might not be getting paid enough to pay your rent. That means you should want a better job. No, what do you hear? Oh, you should be thankful for what you got. Job security. No, motherfucker. Go to the next job. Do the next thing. Go to the next level in your life. Don't get stagnant, but it's hard to grow when everybody's just telling you how shitty it is. We have motherfucking people declaring bankruptcy, higher taxes and lower wages. The cost of living goes up. I don't automatically get paid more to match that. At my job, we get a yearly review where we get anywhere from 5 to 25 cents max for your yearly review as a pay increase. But last time I checked, my rent just got jacked up $50. The cost of milk keeps going up. The price of eggs, bread, gas, everything keeps getting more expensive, but we aren't getting compensated to deal with that. We're not dealing with any of these issues. So when people say, I want to go back to normal, let's get past COVID so we can go back to normal. Normal fucking sucks, yo. Normal is garbage. We need new, okay? We don't need normal. We don't need the way things were. We don't still need to deal with racism and all of this, shenanigans going on with gender and what is it? The gender norms and all of this stuff just spreading more and more confusion to everybody. Be who the fuck you want to be. Do who the fuck you want to do. But at the end of the day, can we figure out how to get past COVID? Can we stop freaking out? Can we stop with the BLM and the protests? Y'all, racism ain't going nowhere, okay? As long as people are born different colors, racism will always be here. I'm so sorry to tell you. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but y'all, come on. Ever since slavery was abolished, 200-300 years ago, and we're still here. We're still here dealing with white people calling black people the N-word. White people calling the police on black people. Black people assaulting white people. Black people assaulting other black people. Black on black crimes. Black people have terrible credit. Black men still have an issue with sticking with their fucking pregnant girlfriend, fiance wives and making a proper family. We still can't figure out how to stay the fuck out of jail. We still can't figure out how to be good people, but yet we can turn on the TV, watch fucking Megan Thee Stallion, I call her Megan the Horse, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, all these bitches on TV shaking their ass, telling you how they done shot this motherfucker and drug that motherfucker and stole this from that. Really? But you don't know what gender you want to be? You're confused if you want to wear pants or a fucking dress? Y'all, this is too much. It's too much. We're focusing on all the wrong things embodied than we did yesterday. COVID was not here to scare you. COVID was put here as a fucking wake-up call. We all have to slow the fuck down. We all have to stop trying to push our own personal agendas on people. We need to stop. Like, everything just needs to stop. We need to reset. Not reset to take away more rights, but reset to improve upon what we once had. We were moving in the right direction at some point in time, but then everything just went to shit. And I can't tell you when. I was born in 1988, so things were far, far down the shithole when I was born. So I can't even begin to tell you where we went wrong. But we're not fixing anything. The Native Americans, what did we do? Or what did the white man do? They gave them plots of land and they give them money. Black people, we were promised 10 acres and a mule. I don't know why anybody believed that was ever going to happen, because we would literally own the United States of America as a black community. That's never going to happen. They're not going to give us that. So I don't know why people are waiting for a handout, why they're waiting for acceptance. We need to fight this and fight that. The only way to cure racism, the only way to cure, child abuse and suicide and all of that stuff is to be better people, to build a society that is ever evolving, ever adapting, and ever changing. It's one of those things. You're always going to have extremists and outliers no matter what. But as long as we pursue the greater good, you know what I mean? That's what matters. I don't care if I have a difference of opinion from you. That doesn't make me a bad person. Doesn't make you a bad person. If I'm wearing a mask and you're not wearing a mask, I don't hate you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to try and demean you because I don't think you're doing what's right for, the greater good of our neighborhood or whoever. You know what I mean? One person did not infect the entire planet. One person infected another person who infected another person who infected these people. So we all have to take accountability for our actions, but at the same time, we have to allow allow that person to figure shit out on their own. Like, yeah, COVID's a thing. I want you to wear a mask. I want you to take care of yourself, and I want you all to be safe and healthy. Is everybody going to do that? No. But then that either means A, these people are going to be just fine, and so will you and me, and we'll all just going about business as usual. Or or B, they'll catch COVID and die, and that's one less stupid person to fucking deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we trying to fight nature? Even now with COVID, we're trying to fight nature, scrambling to get a vaccine. We don't even know what the fuck is in it. It's a cocktail of shit that they're putting in your body, hoping it'll help you develop an immunity to COVID. When at the end of the day, really, you're going to have to take upwards of 2 to 4 shots a year, just so they can tell you you've been vaccinated. Well, okay, but how does that fix everybody else? What does that do? A vaccine does not make a cure. A vaccine doesn't sit in your body until your body, develops it and incorporates it into your DNA, and then you have kids and now they are immune to COVID. That's not how any of this is working. This vaccination is artificial. It's man-made. It has side effects. It's broken. It's busted. It was rushed. And for all we know, it's going to cause more harm than good. Now, will I get the vaccination? I'm up in the air. It's a big question mark for me. I want to get the vaccination, for my family so that they know, I'm good and that I'm not potentially going to give them the virus. But at the same time, because I am an all-natural type of guy, I don't feel the need to get it. I don't. I've been tested 3 times, negative all 3 times. And yeah, I've been in some extreme situations where, yes, I have been around people with COVID. And, by the grace of God, I haven't caught it myself. Neither has my girlfriend or our 4-year-old. And that's also encouraging to me. It's like, yeah, the human body is still doing what it's built to do. We're still going to survive. We're still going to make it. We'll still live to see tomorrow. So that's... I don't know. I could go on about this for hours. My mind's all over the place. If you've been listening this whole time, bless your heart. There's so much going on, and there's so little time to just sit down and think, because we're just being bombarded with sometimes useless, fear-mongering information, and it just feels like we're losing the battle, but we're losing the way. Like, we're losing our way. You know what I mean? Everything needs to come down to be a better person. Let's make things better for everybody. Let's fix the problems we can fix and work on the problems we don't know how to fix. But instead, we went from having talks of going to war with fucking Russia and North Korea, and now COVID hit and all that just went away. It's like, okay, so you guys were, you're just a bunch of man babies getting your feelings hurt, wanting, getting your dicks hard, wanting to push a button and set off a nuke. You know what I mean? We still have people over in Afghanistan, over in that area, I should say, that are, killing each other, brothers killing each other, grown men, fathers, sons, daughters, wives. We're just killing each other. For what? Over religious crusades, over, you said this to me about that and I didn't like it, so I'm gonna go blow up your fucking house. No, like, we still need to fix ourselves, guys. We're doing too much. We're trying to fix everything else except us. So let's I would love to say let's just focus on ourselves, but I know that's not gonna happen. So, I'm gonna pray for y'all. You pray for me. We're gonna make it through this. I promise you. No matter what, even if I catch COVID, I don't give a fuck. We'll make it through this. You know what I mean? Like, some people won't see tomorrow because of COVID. Well, some people weren't going to see tomorrow anyway because of whatever. So to isolate this one incident and to think that, we cured COVID and the world's going to be cured and we're going back to normal. What is normal? And is normal worth going back to? Because technically normal never left. We're still dealing with it. You still pay taxes. You still go to work. I still go to work. I still work 40 plus hours a week. Nothing's changed. We're still paying taxes, ever increasing taxes. We're still having to pay rent, pay our car note, pay our phone bills, go to the store, get groceries. So if nothing has changed except for COVID, then we shouldn't be acting like just because she didn't wear a mask or he didn't wear a mask or they didn't wear a mask that they are bad people, that they're trying to hurt you. They're not. Some people just don't get it. Some people don't see the point. Some people see things as I see them, that this is nature putting shit into play to force us to that next evolutionary step in our ever-growing existence on this planet, but fuck it, man. That's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You tell me. Hit us up. Check us out on Patreon. Check out our Venmo. If you want to send me a message, hit me up on Gmail. I don't give a fuck how old you think I am. Hit us up on Gmail. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Check us out. Love you. Thanks for listening. This is D from Project Airwaves. Checking out. Keep your head in the motherfucking clouds and your feet on the ground and never pushing. I will see y'all in the next session. Deuces!